There's a place in Atlanta called America's Mart, which is like, I'm making this up, but I think I'm kind of right. I feel like it's like 300,000 square feet of space.
Yeah.
It's the biggest building in the whole entire world.
In the world. It's something like that. So, and it's basically all of these vendors have showrooms in this space. We were invited as a team of influencers into this thing called Shop the Show. All of these retailers, all of these merchants come to America's Mart and they shop from the show and they place orders and they're in these showrooms and it's all very legit. And they invited this group, they've never done it before, of influencers.
We were on a poster with Martha Stewart. I was texting Clea about this morning.
What they said is like, you'll come, we'll fly you in, you'll stay at the Ritz. It's going to be this like, gold star experience. And each of you gets a credit to shop at the show. And the funny thing is Joanna and I never ever, and maybe to this day, ever counted as individual people. So we had to share a credit.
So we shared our credit.
So Joanna and I shared a credit. Okay. So we all get put in a green room. And the people in charge of America's Mart, they were like, okay, you guys, I want you to all be prepared because all of the showrooms are so excited for you to be here. They might mob you. They're not even going to be able to contain their excitement when you walk in the showrooms because of how huge this is for them. And they gave us a list of all of the showrooms that knew we were coming.
And that were very excited.
And in these showrooms, there was something listed next to each one. Sometimes it would be like $100 credit or a vase. Or in some cases, it just said a special surprise.
Yes.
So the very first...
Joanna.
So the very first showroom... So we left there with really big senses of self. Yeah. We were like, really. So Joanna and I linked arms with Orlando. So the three of us were like, we're going to team up for our special experience. So we walked confidently into the first showroom. And Orlando and I are like milling around. Joanna has like brought up candles and a blanket to like the cash register or something.
I had like 6 pillows, blankets.
She had like a whole thing. And all of a sudden I hear from the other side of the store, Clea. And there is a store manager calling for her arrest. She is you do not, what are you talking about? And Joanna's like they told us that you were expecting us. And she's like, I've never heard of you. And Joanna's like, there's a poster, like Martha's on it.
I was like, we're part of this program.
We're part of this program. They categorically had no idea who we were or what we were talking about. So we put everything away. We put everything back.
It basically was just like the shopping scene in Pretty Woman, but over and over again in every showroom.
So we went to the next showroom and we were like, hi, we're told that you have a glass for us. And they were like, why are you trying to steal our glasses? And we're like, no. The manager. Yeah. And they're like, I am the manager. And we're like, we're part of Shop the Show. Like, what are you talking about?
No, we would walk in and we would be like, hi.
But the worst is we would walk. So this had happened all day. We had been rejected all day. And it was getting to the point where it was really funny. But we walked into one of the places that didn't specify. Again, it wasn't like you have $100 credit. It said you have a special surprise.
Oh, so and was the special surprise that they knew who we were and they knew we were coming? No.
Imagine walking into a store, into a place of business and saying, I'm here for my special surprise. Right. And someone not knowing who you are. It's insane. So
we're here for our special surprise.
We're here for our special surprise. We could barely get it out because we were laughing so hard. And the woman who had no idea, again, who we were, she asked if we were on drugs. And then she asked if she needed to call the
mall security.
She asked if she needed to call the security. And the problem with that is all it did was make us laugh harder. So we
just seemed insane.
Like criminals. We looked insane.
Oh my God.
And so she had to, oh my God, I'm crying. She had to literally, no one at this establishment knew who we were. And again, we were told that everyone was so excited for us to be there. And we were just like walking around with the prizes that we got from places. But it was obscene. So, but the people who were attending, a lot of them knew who we were. It was
Yes.
it was a real clash.
There was a lot
Yeah.
of discord between
Yes.
perspectives on us. Basically,
Yes.
for like days, we were walking around a gigantic building in Atlanta. And like
so let's
every
do it.
5 steps, somebody was stopping one of us. And after a while, it started to feel like, because it was basically like, you know, you guys are so wildly famous now, but like neither of us were really like crazy well known back then. So like, but in this building, we were the biggest celebrities in the
were
world. And that was
huge.
so overwhelming. And it did bond us for life. It's weird how
life.
like experiences like that can sort of like cement a friendship. Do you consider yourself an introvert? Do either
Yes.
of you? As much as we love people or are interested in people and want to know
Yes.
about people, at the end of the day, if I feel like I have to be on for a lot of people at once, as much as I value my relationships, like the energy has been taken in a slight way. And it seems like, Clea, you're the opposite. Like
The
you derive
absolute
energy.
opposite.
I feed on other people's energy, and not even their energy. I'll give them my own energy. Like I just love talking to people. And I feel like, again, it's so wild to me that a single person in this world recognizes me. Like
It is
it's
a crazy,
shocking.
yeah.
So anyone who takes the time to come up and say even one word to me, I like will give them my phone number. And if you think I'm joking, this happened the other day. I was with Joanna, and this woman was actually sitting with a friend of ours, but I had never met her before. I invited her over to watch the Super Bowl at my house.
It's true. She did.
I mean, how big was the Super Bowl party though?
2 people.
Okay, that's intense.
Yeah.
Because if it was like 30 people, I'd be like,
No.
fine. But you're like, come and sit on my sofa next to me.
I really love people. I actually really do. But it's a battery in me. And as soon as the battery is out of juice, I am, no matter who it is, I am just done. And so I can only, at that point, I can only be around people that as I say to Clea, that don't count.
It's why the dynamic between you two works so well.
We are the same and different at the same time.
Yes.
Small interior design things that feel very approachable and not overwhelming. Like, what would you say is on your list?
For me, tea towel is a big one. I mean, if you're moving into, because it's like such a small thing that if you replace it, you're like, oh, I have like a nice colorful tea towel for my kitchen.
Right.
Paint is my number one go-to for how to transform a space. Changing out like a faucet, even if you're a renter, you know, like I've been a renter basically the whole time I've been a grown-up. So like I've always had this sort of parameters of like what you're allowed to do, what you're, you know, not supposed to do. Table linens, throws, small things that, you know, even like inexpensive, like IKEA bedding, like just little things that you can do for yourself or like, you know, people in your life, your kids, to kind of show some care. But I do think a lot of people think like, oh, interior design, a nice house isn't available to me. A nicer house could be organizing your house. A nicer house could be just cleaning your living room. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that costs a lot of money to, you know, show yourself some care and care for, you know, the other people who are coming into your house. So I tried to kind of balance aspirational content with things that are humorous that kind of take the edge off of making it seem too pretentious or too elitist, you know, because we are in this world where basically like our brand collaborators often want us to be really aspirational and perfect and one thing so that they're, you know, the things that are aligning with their brand are high end, but we're also dealing with audiences that might be feeling like, well, I can't measure up to this content or my house can't be like that. And so finding the balance between like, how do I show something that's like pretty and interesting and well organized, while also not making people feel badly about their own homes is like the balance that I've been trying to strike. And I think the balance that you two strike really well.